Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem.
The horses are now nearing the starting gate.
And they're off.
As the field comes into the stretch.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct and another beautiful day here in South Ozone Park, Queens. Sunny skies, the temperature will get into the 70s. The main track is fast, the turf courses are firm, no portable rails in use today, and we have a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of $19,000. Here now the changes for today's 10-race card. In the first race, scratch number 5, Hipski. Scratch the 5. Second race, scratch number 4, Simply Sweet. Scratch the 4. There are no changes in the third race, but yes, there is a change. Number 8, Homedale Park will wear a hood. There are no changes in the fourth, fifth, or sixth races. Moving on to the seventh race, and in the seventh, scratch number 3, Flush. Scratch the 3. In today's eighth race, the scratches, scratch 9, Currency Chrome, 10, Real Dan, scratch the 12, Bridge to the Future, and 13, Bobby from the Palm. Scratch 9, 10, 12, and 13. Note that number 7, Playwright, runs with blinkers off, the 7. Featured ninth race is the 46th running of the Grade 3 Nashua. Note that number 7, Spectatorless, is a gelding. And in today's 10th and final race, scratch the 11, Early Edition. Scratch the 11. Main track fast, turf courses firm, Empire 6 jackpot carryover of $19,000. We'll be back at 11:20 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 11:50. Up next, the November 8th edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. A little bit of entertainment here in the studio. He's Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. How are you today?
We matched today.
You know, not only do I think about what, well, I got a little more going on. I got some stripes.
Oh, I got my horse tie going on today.
I think about not only which horses you're going to pick, but also what you're going to wear.
Of course.
Didn't we have a delay to get this going, and now it's blank?
Now it's just, it's on, but it was off, now it's on, and now there's nothing on.
Ernie's laughing over there.
Yeah, Ernie's laughing. Hey, the mice are gone.
Yeah. Who took the mice? Somebody steal the mice? Were the mice or rats? No, they're up there now. Look, they're up by Ernie. Maybe they ran over there in the middle of the night.
That freaks me out, stuff like that.
All right, anyway, the calm after the storm, 10 today at Aqueduct. You need to head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. Use the promo code MATCH200 and we will match the $200 of your initial deposit. NairaBets.com for more details. Support racing in New York. Keep the money in the game. Play through Naira Bets.
Hope we get to see him in the Cigar Mile.
Who is that?
That is Performer, my friend.
Oh, well, we are seeing Performer in the Cigar Mile, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, maybe they'll bring Nick's Go and he'll just go like one. He'll break Easy Goer's track record. We have a bonus, $10 bonus if you play 25 or more to win the last race here in the third at Del Mar through the app and the app only. Of course, Del Mar's running that November meet. I had fun when I went out there a couple of years ago. Would have gone again.
Crosby meet.
I would have gone again this year. It was good when I went the year because they started late because the Breeders' Cup, I guess it was in California.
Did you go in 17 when it was there?
No, okay. It was there. They didn't run late because they were there for the Breeders' Cup. Right. In 16 when they ran at Santa Anita. So they started their meet late. So the last weekend with the stakes was the first week in December, not Thanksgiving.
Oh, right, right.
It was really nice. I had a nice time.
Yeah. That was Annals of Time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anyway, 10 races to talk about. We are fast. We are firm. Race number 1 on the outer turf course going 6 furlongs. And we both land on the same horse. Why do you like the 2 Venerable?
Yeah, Venerable had the race on the...
any stats yet.
Venerable had the race on the dirt first time out for trainer Christophe Clement sprinting. Showed a little speed early on, tired. Got to the turf next time out on a stretch out 30 days later. Was a little forward from the rail briefly early on and then faded. I just think
what we're repeating is PPs.
Yeah,
what do you like?
I want the horse turf sprinting. That's it. I want the horse cutting back on the surface. Well, I think this horse is going to be a turf sprinter, obviously. I think they gave the horse the race on the dirt first, try the horse on the dirt first time.
They gave it a race. He ran a killer field first time.
Yeah.
Christophe Clement has very good numbers, cutting back from routes to 6 furlongs particularly. We'll show you a stat. Turnbacks either with maidens, where he's 5 for 13. When he turns back to 6 furlongs, 237. I don't know if he handled the grass. The grass had a lot of give that day. I'm not really sure. He just sort of allowed him to get completely shuffled out of the race. And I do think he's interesting on the turnback. But there's a lot going on here. You know, you've got a turf course where, I mean, it's just sort of become ridiculous. Where if you're not saving ground, and there was a ride in the last race yesterday that belongs in a time capsule of poor riding. What about the 7 coming in from Woodbine? First try synthetic for the first time. We'll take a look at his race 2 back where he finished second. He's running pretty good figures on the synthetic. Yeah. Got Mike Maselli. He's also potentially has some speed. Now, I don't know. Maybe Kentucky Night goes. I don't know how this race plays out. And that's a real problem here because I don't know if Nick Juarez is aware that you got to be on the rail. I mean, you know, Kendrick Carmouche is. I don't know how many other riders are. I know one rider is clearly not. In fact, he'd like to be outside because he's really paying attention. And this horse is okay, and I know he's going to get bet because of synthetic form, but to pay attention.
Mike Maselli won one of these too.
Yeah,
it came down from Woodbine.
The same trainer switch.
Yep, same trainer switch. So, yeah, this horse ran well enough in his first 3 starts on the all-weather. Showed some speed 2 starts back. Yeah, I found this horse made some sense too. This horse is going to be, you know, David had this horse 5-2. I was a little surprised to see this horse as laid the morning line favorite.
Why wouldn't he be the favorite?
Well, I don't know, off of the synthetic form.
He's running 70 buyers against a field that nobody's ran a step.
Yeah, I guess there's nowhere else to go.
How is this horse not favored in here?
I guess there's nowhere else to go.
I mean, Todd Pletcher running a Constitution first time out in the grass is not exactly a ring endorsement, and that's the number 4, Never Surprise. So maybe we won't be surprised, but I don't know. And you got Jorge Abreu down at the rail, and he's always potentially dangerous. And the second dam was a turf winner, 3-time turf winner, and pretty solid. There's nothing really in the first dam, but this is the first foal. But I think the race always dangerous.
Always got to respect the little honeymooners nod too.
Is Mick Lyrical honeymooners?
No, the name of the mare to the moon, Alice.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember her actually. Race number 2. Race number 2 is sort of an interesting race because you've got 3 horses that are coming out of the same turf race, and it's 2 back for Seant. It's, I've got a different name, I don't care what it is. 2 back, the last turf race for Safari Queen and Harlem Heights last race. And we're going to show the stretch run of this race, and a lot on the Morley horse, the 1, was made of this horse getting blocked, and it's absolutely true. But in doing that, a lot of things were missed. Number 1, the number 10, who's rushing up the inside with Joel Rosario. People missed that horse was completely and totally stymied in traffic. And they're not thinking of the fact that Harlem Heights covered so much more ground. I'm going to give you some statistics on ground loss. Harlem Heights lost 58 more, went 58 more feet than the Morley horse, whose name I'm no longer going to try to pronounce.
Can't. I believe it's
Can't. And Safari Queen, who was badly blocked in the stretch, much like Can't, went 71 more feet. And that horse was the one, I think, Safari Queen, if you're really doing trips and really paying attention, is really the one you want. So for me, I think they're all going to focus on Can't. Oh, no, it's Scent. It's Scent. Maggie just told me it's Scent.
Oh, okay.
She even spelled it twice in case I got it wrong, which I appreciate. Safari Queen's really the one who had the trip, and maybe Scent's going to beat her, but I think Safari Queen's the one you want out of that race, and frankly, I think Scent's going to be overbet because of the perceived trouble, and she's okay, she can win, but I prefer Safari.
I like Scent today because my assumption is there's not going to be any trouble because she's going to be on the front end.
Okay.
And if she gets over and clears...
She's supposed to go to the lead,
yes. Yes, just gets over and clears and gets over to the rail. I'm not saying that's going to be enough, but I think with the perceived trouble, she chased a Porte around there last time. Really didn't make any dent into that lead. But I think stretching out a little bit now, the way the track is playing. You mentioned Kendra Carmouche is paying attention. I would just think she's going to clear and get over.
Yeah, and the rider of the 7, Eric Cancel, is completely oblivious to how the racetrack is playing, as evidenced by his performance. So Harlem Heights may be doomed to be wide on 3 turns, and if Harlem Heights is too wide, even too wide in all 3 turns, they'll be searching for him. There'll be a search party sent out for him after the race.
The problem with her is...
and it's not saying it's easy for him to get over. I think the best move with this horse, I would send.
Would be to leave position. And that race last year, that mile race where she got involved in that crazy pace, shows you that she does have enough speed. And they caught a mile and 3/8 on the turf now, so they all should have enough speed.
But they didn't use any speed last time out, so maybe she doesn't really have speed anymore.
Right, that could be.
Can I eat this apple in the air? Do you think if I ate this in the air, it would be kind of entertaining?
When that thing came up here,
you saw trouble?
3 to 5.
To take a bite during the show?
That was just going to be your play toy for the day, yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those, you know what I have at home? One of those plastic balls that has like the thing sticking out of it, and they come, I got to bring that in.
I like to play with quarters in my car. I keep change in the middle. I just play with the quarters all the time.
You can bring some in because maybe I can use them on the soda machine here. As far as I know, I can't take dollars.
Down there. Yeah, I'll bring you some quarters on Thursday.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, Harlem Heights, like you said, she may not have her speed anymore, but if she does, I can actually see this thing lining up 5-7.
Not with Eric. Race number 3. I have a question for you about race number 3. Okay, you changed your picks.
I did. When I saw that she was even money on the morning line, I didn't look that foolish, but I really don't.
Well, I'm sorry. You didn't think Fangirl would be even money in this race when you looked at the PPs?
I don't like her.
So you were drinking. Okay, you don't like her. That's fine. Let me ask you.
No. Let me finalize my picks. I was drinking yesterday.
Let me ask you a question. Well, that's not helpful, but you left her out.
I did.
Anthony had left Fangirl out of her top 4. Then you put her in because you saw she was even money. If you don't like her, you don't like her.
I don't like her, but I also realize that the class relief she is facing in here.
When she noticed she was even money?
Has to make her a play. Well, I think that's an indication that, yeah. Listen, I don't think she's done much running in any of her races.
As opposed to all the running that the other horses have done in this race?
The difference is going to be, she is going to be, maybe I should have just stuck to my guns and left her off the board. Maybe I should have.
You can do whatever ridiculous thing you want to do. I don't really care.
I think all of this reeks of desperation. Whoa. She has 5 races in 2 years. The blinkers come off. She's dropping in second off the off the December to October.
Well, do you know why the blinkers are coming off? Because she ran off last time.
Yeah, well,
that's why the blinkers are coming off.
Do you think that's going to help?
You're Mr. Blinker. I'm not.
I don't think that's. I think letting her see what's going on.
I think you know what's going to help the other horse in this race? If they tie lead weights to her ankles, that's what I think will help the rest of this field. Because
that is a bold
by the way,
statement
speaking
to
of
make
blinkers
with this
off,
filly, boy.
Blinkers off. John Terranova blinkers off for what it's worth over the last 5 years. 8 for 32, 311 ROI. So it has worked for him. I saw the race differently. I don't think any. First of all, what do you like about Left Leading Lucy? Well, where's her good race? By the way, I think Fangirl's running exactly where she belongs. I don't think this is a desperate drop down. Somebody wants to claim her for 30,000. A horse, as you say, has trouble staying on the racetrack. Have at it. I mean, she's a horse that's probably going to run a buyer in the mid to high 60s, and you know, maybe a 70. What races is she going to win after she wins this race and she's no longer eligible for Now Where's It 2 Lifetime? Somebody wants to claim her for 30. Have at it. I don't think she ever showed that she was going to be some sort of superstar.
I wanted the 1 and the 3 in here. I put Left
Why?
Leading Lucy on top because I did think she'd be a bit of a bigger price.
Well, she should be. She's a little slow, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a little slow. Andy, they're all kind of a little slow. This was a, you know, this was
not Fangirl.
I think this horse is a bad favorite today.
Okay.
I think this horse is a bad favorite today. I'm using the 1 and that's ultimately. I feel like there's let's take Fangirl aside. To me, it's the 1. If Fangirl was on this race,
I'm more upset you put her 3rd because you saw she was even money.
Well, I mean, maybe I just overshot my opinion, is what I was thinking.
A little tough to make too many horses in here. I mean, you had her behind Queendom, which is preposterous. I think the interesting horse is the horse on the outside, Homedale Park. She did stumble. It wasn't that major last time out. I tried her last time. She just sort of fell out of the race. She has back races that are good enough, and I feel like Homedale Park one of these days is going to wake up. And in this field, where frankly outside of Fangirl, and that's fine. I get it with Fangirl. I think she's a very likely winner, but that's fine.
Maybe getting back to Aqueduct will help Homedale Park too.
Maybe just getting a more realistic spot, breaking outside. It seems like the better running's been done outside if you had to come from behind. I'm not a big fan of Dare to Try. I mean, it was a ridiculous race she was in last time out. I guess she's the horse to beat. If you know, she's the logical other horse after the 2. I'm not sure what you like about Left Leading Lucy, but good luck. Race number 4. Race number 4 is essentially a 2 betting interest race, and we'll start out with the number 8, Greatest Honor, who I prefer in here. I just think Greatest Honor is coming out of a very, very good race. You know, I know Known Agenda lost a horse. They ran a huge figure at Keeneland on Friday. But I love the field that Greatest Honor is coming out of. It's a very, very strong field.
I think you said it perfectly. You're betting the 1 entry, and I think would be leaning on the 1A, or you're betting the 8 Greatest Honor.
I actually think the 1 is interesting.
Greatest Honor. I'm sorry.
I actually think the 1's very interesting.
Okay.
If the 1A wasn't in here, there would have been a temptation to put the 1 on top of the price. But I can't because of the entry. I can't get.
Greatest Honor comes out of the better overall race, I think, and then Known Agenda, we saw what Highly Motivated did in the opener on the 2-day Breeders' Cup.
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself. Yeah, Greatest Honor ran against some very good horses. Yeah. Speaker's Corner, who won that race, was a Bill Mott Godolphin horse that was 3-5 in his debut at Saratoga. Had a mild trip that day, and he got the job done. Baccato River had run well. The 4th finisher was that Miles D, the first-time starter for Peter Brandt, that ran well. That was a very strong field. Got the outside post. I don't love that. But it also keeps him out of the kickback, and I don't know how much it's going to really matter because Known Agenda, who we'll look at here, is inside of him. But let's, to be fair, Known Agenda ran very well last time. I'm not going to knock him. He ran terrific last time.
Yeah.
I hate entries.
I know you're right. I know you do.
There's a good reason to hate them. They're terrible value.
The kickback should be negated, right, by the
There's no issue in this race for these 2.
It kind of hurts, though, going right into that first turn, doesn't it? You're going to lose ground on that first turn if you both of these horses.
Who are you supposed to like if you're looking to bet against these 2 horses?
Well, to me, I'll be honest with you, that was one of the deciding factors. At the very least, Known Agenda is going to figures to lose a little less ground going into that first turn. He seems to have a little bit more positional speed than Greatest Honor does, and I'm just hoping that Kendrick could work out a little bit of a better trip from not as wide a draw. I mean, It's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, isn't it?
Well, I thought Overtook actually was kind of interesting as a horse that sort of dropped out of the race, was way back, and made a bit of a run. The problem is he's part of an entry that's going to be a very short price, so there's no value. I was kind of hoping he'd scratch and find another spot, but who knows when he would. I have a question about the firster Bellagio. Wasn't there a Tabor Pletcher horse named Bellagio relatively recently?
Was it overseas bred? Really?
I don't think so.
How long ago?
I don't know. Maybe it was over 10 years, but
7 years now. They reduced it.
Yeah, right. Because there aren't enough names out there.
I'm just telling you what they did, man. Don't you yell at me like I did it?
I'm just yelling in general. Is that
you
true?
Pointed at me.
You
I
can
believe
name
it's 7 years. I believe they changed it to 7 years.
Because people's imaginations have gotten that much worse over the last few years.
Bobby and I were talking about this on HRRN, and I went on one of the sites and found the horse that it was. Because he said the same thing you said. I can't remember who it was. It was in the Midwest, like in Indiana Grand or something.
Well, there have been about 7 delay of games. The dam of
right.
Some horse that won.
You know what? It might have been delay of game.
Well, that was here then. This horse, there's some dirt routers in this family, also turf, but the second dam of Bellagio is Take Charge Lady, and she, of course, has been, not only was she a terrific runner on the racetrack, but she's been a very good broodmare as well. So there's pedigree on Bellagio.
Mile and an eighth first time, though.
Yeah. Unlikely, but there is plenty of pedigree there. I put in lots and lots of chrome, hoping the horse didn't like a slop last time. Let's move on to race number 5, closing out the early pick 5. Not a lot to say about this race. We'll take a look at Stefan beating Cold Hearted Pearl, and Cold Hearted Pearl likely has to deal with the speed of Suz, the number 6, unless it's Suze. And I don't know, isn't Stefan just keep on winning? I mean, maybe one of these days she just won't show up, but so far she just keeps showing up and running big races and better than the fields.
Kind of don't want to bank on another horse not showing up.
Where else do you go in this race?
Nowhere.
If you're trying
you go nowhere else. I mean, I guess the only thing you could have done, I should say, because you can't do it now, if Cold Hearted Pearl or Sue scratched, you hope to get loose.
Yes, I agree. But that didn't happen, and she wins easily. And I'm not trying to beat her in this race, so it's race number 5. We'll take a quick break. Anthony and I will be back in just a moment.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. He's Anthony Stabile, having a little chuckle here during our break. I'm Andy Serling.
What a week. What a long week.
Closing weekend. That's right. We race 3 days at Aqueduct. I feel like I need to go to a spa and get away for about a month. Race number 6 kicks off the late pick 5. No, I'm not going to a spa with you, that's for sure.
Could you imagine you and I
couldn't imagine myself at a spa.
Yeah, you would not do well at a spa.
Depends.
I've spent 1 day at a spa in my life, and I was
obvious.
I don't think you do well. They're not going to let you bring the apple in either. You have not stopped with that apple.
Race number 6, Jade's Dream and Golden Door come out of that race, and it's 2 back for Golden Door, ran off the turf, and last start for Jade's Dream. And Advanced Strategies ran very well in here. Jade's Dream's going to have the run of the race today as the inside speed. I don't disagree that the Golden Door ran the better race last time, but she's got to get the right trip, and you pretty much know that unless Jade's Dream falls at the start, that she's going to get the right trip. Because if Romero Mirage gives up the lead in the rail with her, then he got to shouldn't be riding here this winter because this is.
He won't. Romero's been aggressive.
No, I'm not knocking
Yeah.
him. I'm just saying if that would be
I'm hoping Pablo
foolish move of all
Morales
time.
just drops over and makes sure he saves the ground behind the speed. Pablo does a good job up at Presque Isle Downs, out down in Tampa Bay.
We rode here well here this weekend.
He did.
He's running
Pablo's
well.
had a good couple of days.
I'm thinking of making a switch. He was talking to Richie on the show about how he's a place in Tampa, but he could stay here for this winter. So maybe I should take his place in Tampa, and he should take my place in the city, and I should just head down there and lie on the beach. No, lie on the beach.
Oh.
I don't really know anybody over there.
Actually,
I do.
You're going to leave me here alone this winter?
I'm not planning on it, but I don't know. The thought just occurred to me. It seemed like a good idea.
All right.
My friend Bob is down in Naples.
Doesn't sound
maybe
like
go
you're
visit
being much
him.
of a team player, but hey, you do what you got to do, man.
You know,
and leave me here.
Rustle up some friends.
Look at
that
the
are in
winter,
Sarasota.
face the winter alone.
I'm not suggesting it's going to happen. It just seemed like when I heard
it sounds like it. It sounds like it's ranging up 3 wide.
No, it's not. I'm certainly not going to be switching places with him. I'll tell you that. He doesn't want to live in my place.
The Golden Door, to me, has run well in all three. There's a little bit more consistency, I feel like, in his form. But, and it's a big but, the way the course has been playing, Jade's Dream has a considerable edge.
That's the thing. So.
Yeah. But I like those two. Man, you got to think tackle's going to be just completely against it, right? And
I don't think tackle's very good anyway.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
The horse I think was interesting in here, and maybe we'll get a turf race after this as we move the rails out and the courses become fair, is A Vow of Beauty, because I thought Junior Over just sort of took this horse back too much last time in the turf. I don't think the horse ran that badly. So I actually think A Vow of Beauty is a horse that with a bad trip here will be dressed up just enough to maybe make some money with that horse down the road.
Late pick 5 kicks off here. I'll have one ticket using the 1 and 2.
I'll use the 1 and 2. No,
I'll have one ticket, 1, 2, 4, 9.
Well, you got to use Mott. You got to use Mott. I mean, you're not allowed to have a ticket.
I'm not going to not use the horse
right?
because the horse's first race.
What's the last Mott horse you left out of a pick 5? Seriously, can you remember that? Probably it can't because we probably didn't have a pick 5 when Mott.
You
haven't had it that long. I mean, it's been 10 years, 8 years or something. You can't have left a Mott horse out in that 5 years. Hey, an annoying entry in the next race. So in race number 7. The horse to beat is Fresco. We'll take a look at Fresco's last race. And was Fresco best?
Ran into old friend Silky Blue.
Probably. Silky Blue is also probably better than the horses in this race. But Silky Blue with Manny got the clean outside run. And I'm not blaming Irad. I mean, he did try to make the best of a bad situation. But he ends up getting stopped when you're trying to. That's one of the problems. When you try to close inside in turf sprints, you lose your momentum. That's why you need to be outside and make those clean runs. And we saw that in yesterday's Breeders' Cup turf sprint, that the clean runs on the outside are much more effective than trying to weave through traffic.
That was a great point you made on Twitter yesterday. And that when you have horses like this, and I think, and this is just common sense, I would think, the longer the races are, the more you can try and get away with it. And it was going 7 last time with Fresco. Tell you what, Eric Hansel better not try to get away with today.
Well, good luck to him. Good luck to him giving this horse a winning trip. I mean,
right, that's the problem.
I mean, that's worse than spinning the wheel. I mean, that's like it's just, I don't even know. I know what to compare it to, and it's not a good one.
You have to kind of give this horse a clean version of the trip she got last time and keep her inside. But I mean, going 6.
Can I say something else about her? Just come on.
You're not a fan of this horse.
Treat her like a horse that he's a big fan of.
No, he runs her a lot. He runs her in spots. No, listen, I don't disagree with you.
She's okay.
That kind of dawned on me last night.
Okay.
I went to my knee jerk where I was just like, oh well, she had a little bit of trouble last time. Maybe now.
The race also fell in her lap. It was collapsing. But
then you look and you see 8 hole on this turf course. She's got to cut back to the 6, and then I took that into account.
And isn't the 1A just supposed to go? We'll take a look at Canarsie Angel. There's a reason I'm showing Canarsie Angel's last race. And I hope Hector Diaz, I assume he watched it. You know, watch Dylan Davis. Watch this carefully because I'm sure to the lunatics on the Twitter, had she lost, they would have said that Dylan was stiffing her and, you know, that maybe the Ortiz brothers were involved as well as any other. Are there any other nefarious? Bob Baffert could have been involved. He's another guy, you know, just from afar, another guy that Twitter people make crazy. she's bearing out badly. And that's why Dylan wasn't riding her for a while. And he did a very, very good job of keeping her together. Now, I'm sure that Rob Atras is aware of that, and I imagine that Hector is as well. For what it's worth, Rob does not have good numbers off the claim and the turf. She's probably the inside speed, and Hector has to go with her. So that's why I put her. The other thing was, I actually think the interesting horse is Cape Cod Diva. And I would have been very interested in her because Rob Falcone has very good numbers off the claim on turf, where he's like 9 for 31. And she's kind of interesting. There's a better price in there because she's not that bad on the turf. And I thought she was sort of interesting. I was hoping one would scratch, to be honest, because it'd take either one of them. And the problem is, if you're going to pick against Fresco, where the heck else do you go?
You're going to yell at me when I say this.
I'm sure I will.
I don't know how much shorter Canarsie Angel would be without Cape Cod Diva.
No, that's not. No, I don't.
The other way
Well,
different.
I know how much shorter. I know if the entry goes off at 7-2 or something, that she would have been 9-2. But still, that matters. All those things matter.
Yeah.
Its value matters. And
I don't
but the
disagree,
problem,
but
the
they're
thing
still
I have
gonna
is
be-
I think I like both halves of this entry.
And I think I think you're gonna wind up getting the 7-2.
But here's
And I think she's gonna be
here's the problem,
they'll
Anthony.
be third choice in
You're
here,
making
no?
it the argument for your side of the debate. What price would Cape Cod Diva be on her own?
If I would have finished, yeah, you're getting
That's
the bad
That's
end
the
of it.
problem.
Because on paper,
I think they both can win.
On paper, she's probably would have been 10-1.
8-1.
8-1, 10-1.
I mean, okay, Gratz. Gratz ran fine last time, but you're starting to learn.
Yes, I mean, you can't get these Jimmy Bond horses. Wild William got lucky when the other speed blew the
that
brake,
was the silliest
and that
win
was
of
it.
all time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, that was,
I
and
don't
the
know
other
how
horses,
you get these
some are at
horses
the
home.
spa, okay, just got to get the right trip. And frankly, some of the spa looks like he did a lot of running, but if you like him, why don't you like Screaming By? You like
Right.
Screaming By here? I don't know, maybe. I don't. The interesting horse is the turf was fair. Linda's Ballet. I'm not big on, as you know, horses for courses. The best race this horse ever ran by a city block in a turf race was here at Aqueduct. This horse just ran that day, and I remember thinking, like, where the heck did this horse get that race from?
I wonder if Angel Rodriguez can be aggressive here.
Let's move on to the 7th race so I don't get myself in trouble, or 6th race, or what race are we in?
Wow, that was a wild blast.
That was insane. That was like, you're still drunk if you think that. Anyway, a bunch of scratches.
I think she get the lead. I'm
race
just saying, trying
number
to get
8.
around
She's going to be chasing 3-4 wide the whole way. This race did change a bit with the scratches because there is a horse that came out that could have been the speed, right? In Currency Chrome, who had real sprint speed, and that does change this race a little bit. What are we doing here? And the logical horse is Scarf It Down, right? We'll take a look at Scarf It Down winning, I think it's a couple races back before running against Tougher last time. You don't have a Noda horse on top?
I'm giving Mills one more chance.
Well, that's just stupid. I mean, that's worse than picking Tass.
I'm giving Mills one more chance.
Well, that's just stupid. It's just embarrassing. Mills, even you admitted to me last time enough with Mills, and now you're going to pick him again. So I shouldn't even let you talk about Mills in this race.
I don't need to talk about it. Scarf It Down's going to be...
Well,
to me, Scarf It Down's going to be too short.
Even that ridiculous Noda horse that you picked in the first race yesterday that was under a drive the entire race. Now, I know the two horses to beat in the race were eased, but that horse still was running at the end despite being under drive the whole way. So their horses are running in a manner that's not really in their PPs. It's just sort of, they just all run. He came up the rail to win with that horse the other day. I mean, it's just sort of ridiculous. He's obviously not going to be 4-1. Did somebody get scratched that David had a short price in there? No. He thinks this horse is going to be 4-1
You
here?
didn't think this horse... I thought this was a wide open race.
I did not, but I think Scarf It Down is going to be 5-2. The Nodas?
Well, hold on a second, but there's not just... I mean...
78 Beyer, 2 back, and
Take
then ran against
4
Better last
horses out
time?
of here. Did he have Bobby to the
But
palm
none of the
short?
horses that came,
What did he have?
out in this race were 30-1, 50-1, 15-1, and 15-1.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah,
so maybe
really
7-2.
Doesn't affect the board at all, really.
Well, who's he got close in price? Well, no, Playwright. I don't know. Isn't Playwright?
Blinkers come off. That's a late change.
Playwright's like deceased. I mean, he can't run at all anymore. I mean, he drops the bottom, so I'm not going to be shocked when he runs well in here. But my gosh, I think that Scarf It Down will be a substantial favorite in this race.
You might be right now.
5 to 2, 2 to 1. Not now. They didn't scratch anybody that mattered. 5 to 2, 2 to 1, less. They bet no to horses that have no chance. That horse was 7 to 1 yesterday. He should have been 70 to 1. You know, I'll tell you what. If he's not a short price in here, he'd get nothing.
Yeah. I thought this was a tough heat.
Well, so why did you pick a horse that can't get him his own way anymore?
If you take him out, you know, I'm hoping just getting back to a fast track, to the one turn
fast
here.
Track? He was on a fast track 4 times before, and he stopped running any good.
Yeah, the race 2 back was the one that really bothered me, but I'm just hoping getting back to Aqueduct and maybe a new surface. Maybe he could save a little ground today. Rider change, Joey Martinez. Maybe it'll wake him up a little bit. I don't know. I wanted to use 3 or 4 of them in the end. See,
but he's indefensible.
Pipes.
But he's indefensible, Mills.
He's going to be 15 to 1.
I don't care. He could be 500. Listen, you can pick Financial Freedom if you want. You could have picked Real Dan if you wanted. He was 50 to 1.
I want to give him
He's
one more
going
chance.
to be what prices and make him
some ground
bet.
instead of being in the 5 path around the racetrack, and see what he can do at a price.
Okay, Anthony. After today, you're not allowed to pick him anymore. And seriously, if I see you pick him, you're not on the show anymore.
Okay.
You're off.
All right.
Enough with Mills.
Okay.
Stop.
All
Seriously,
right.
stop. I know your friend owns him.
We'll see.
But it's not about our friends. You know, really. I mean, if you want to root for your friends, that's great. But come on, Anthony.
Why are you so against him today?
Because you continuously pick him, despite even admitting to me he's not running well anymore.
But listen, I'm hoping the rider change helps, and I'm hoping he can save a little ground.
You're hoping the rider change of Joey Martinez is going to help?
Listen, maybe it's just the change. I'm hoping just the change helps. Sound like a madman.
You picked Tacitus and then you picked this horse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit much. All right, it's a little bit much. As far as Pipes, I know there's a chance that Pipes can't run anymore. We'll take a look at Pipes actually beating Playwright. This is back in December. This one, Pipes was good. Now, listen, he was horrible last time out. There's no doubt about it, and there is some concern. But his last dirt race was coming off a long layoff, and he was running against a much better field, and he was chasing the pace, and he really had no chance. Pipes is a horse that if he remembers who he was, he'll just beat this field.
He's supposed to.
But I don't totally trust him, but I'm not completely convinced that this isn't the right spot for him, because you've got horses like, listen, I think that Scarfy Down's way the horse to beat in here. I don't like Playwright. Could he win? I suppose he could.
The problem with Pipes is he does his best work on the front end, and he can't get the lead in here.
Does he really do his best work on the front end?
I think he does.
I don't know. We'll see.
I
don't know. He got a 77 buyer. 3 dirt races back, sitting 3rd.
Yeah, they were going. I mean, I don't know why he was going. I don't know why he was sitting.
Does Rudy hate him? Is he a Rudy
throw
out?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
I think Beach Access is dangerous in this race, actually. Look at the races Beach Access has been running in. Look at who he has been running against in his races.
Well, so I mean, you were talking about you mentioned dropping to the bottom. I mean,
doesn't this horse make sense?
This is a huge drop.
Last time he ran for a tag, he ran an 80 buyer.
Yeah.
Beat Vintage Hollywood. No, I thought he was
I worry.
That's the problem with taking horses like Mills. You're ignoring horses like Pipes and Beach Access that are interesting.
I don't like I have Pipes 4th.
But you don't even have Beach Access in your top 5.
Well, here's my problem with Beach Access. Beach Access went to the bench. And I just don't know. I mean, I know the race 2 back was okay.
Anthony, he ran a 77 buyer 2 back. I don't understand what's not okay about him. No, you had to pick Mills, so you couldn't leave horses that could win.
I just didn't like the way he's come back from the break.
He ran fine coming back off the break, and he's taking a significant drop. But you like Mills. Race number 9, the Nashua. Was that a misprint that 10 for 10 worked yesterday morning?
I did not see the
Dave
work.
Brennig texted me, and he said, I saw it worked. I wonder if he's going to run. I mean, does Shug ever work horses the day before a race?
What was the work?
I don't.
Well, that would help. I mean, if he blew him out half mile in 53, then yeah, maybe he was just taking the edge off before the race. I don't know.
He's running. We'll look at 10 for 10's last race. I know it was a sloppy track. I don't care. I like the race this horse comes out a first time. I think this horse is good. I know it was a slop. But I think this horse is good.
I thought there were 2 choices in here, obviously.
Maggie says he did work, yes. Maggie says, Maggie's right. Maggie makes the first great point of the day, which we should have noticed. He worked the day before this race.
Oh.
At least somebody's paying attention, and it isn't the two idiots up here.
I did not notice that.
Yeah. Thank you,
I
Maggie.
did not notice that. And I guess because it was a stakes race now, it would come to light. And last time it didn't. Because obviously it's not going to be in the PBs.
Or maybe Maggie's paying more attention than you and I.
Could be. Could be. Yeah, I did not notice that.
I didn't notice that either. That's actually very good.
Yeah, I mean, this horse, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was necessarily was the slop. I mean, the blinkers, seemed to, he did. He ran well first time, but he was a little more alert last time, and maybe that was the blinkers just getting into focus a little bit.
Well, he's also stretching out from 6 furlongs to a mile and 16th. He didn't go any fast. He went slower the first quarter than he went the first time out.
No, but he didn't. He kind of hesitated out of there the first time. And
a lot of horses hesitate out first time.
Last time he popped out of there. Last time he popped out of there nicely. So. Thought it was him and Nova Rags, right? And he's in Nova Rags.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like the two horses. I totally agree with you. I mean, I don't really. You went 2-1, I went 1-2. Mm-hmm. I could have thrown them up in the air, and it wouldn't have really mattered that Nova Rags ran well. We'll look at Nova Rags' race. It's a strange race, huh?
There's not. Yeah, because, you know what's weird about it? There's not a ton of speed.
No, I meant his last race.
Oh, his last race.
He's chasing away, and he actually at this point, he's sort of get away from him. At this point, if you bet him, you're like, well, he's done. Right? I mean, he looks like he's sort of backing up. And then he suddenly refound himself.
The kind of horse, right? It's almost like inside the eighth pole. He figured out what he was supposed to do, and now he's leveling off and coming at these horses with a purpose.
And they weren't bad horses, you know.
No, they weren't. I think the one thing I worry about is the fact that. You like the fact that the proverbial light bulb seemed to come on at some point. Don't like the fact that it had to happen inside the eighth pole if this horse is still trying to learn the ropes.
But he's a first-time starting 2-year-old.
He was. And listen, you know how I feel. I feel like they're always. I feel like 10 for 10 ran the same figure this horse second time that this horse ran first time.
Right.
If this horse takes a step forward.
Fair.
This horse is
Denver Dan could take another step forward, too.
Correct.
But you're right. I mean, you could argue that 10 for 10 was more of a finished product last time out, and Nova Rags was figuring out what to do in the middle of the race.
But that still bothers me because just because it happened last time, it doesn't mean it can't happen again today. It can't mean, maybe he's not mentally caught up.
But he is faster early than 10 for 10.
He is. Yeah.
So what do you do with Isolate coming up? And I know it was a slop last time.
Well, that's what I think you have to. I think there's not a lot of speed in this race. Well, I should say this. There weren't a lot of horses that went to the lead in this race. I would think Christian Torres is going to hustle this horse out of the gate today. And I would think he's going to clear.
I'm just going to relax and wait for
I would think Christian Torres is going to be aggressive with this horse, too. I don't think he's going to try to nurse this horse along on the front.
Francisco?
I think they're going to let this horse roll.
There we go.
I think they're going to try and let this horse roll on the front end today. Because quite frankly, if you shift up here to do anything else, I don't know what you're going to try to do. I know this horse won from off the pace. First time out, I would just let this horse run from the rip today. That's me. I think that's his best. It's probably his only chance to win.
It's interesting. The pace projector has this horse behind the 2 and 6.
That's hard to imagine, isn't it?
You know what? No, he doesn't. I wrote it down wrong. Oh. He has this horse in front. You're correct.
Yeah.
6 obviously has no speed.
I guess he doesn't have to be.
No.
I would be stunned if this horse wasn't just aggressive.
I think you're right.
That's the only way he can win.
Well, no, wait a second. Wait a second.
Well,
it's not the only way he can win. You know the other way he can win? Being better than this field.
Yeah, I guess. But I think he's a horse where, when you see the improvement last time with 10 for 10, 11 buyer points, blinkers in the sloppy track. This horse ran against Florida-bred maidens first time out, going 5.5. He could have
improved a lot. I know it's a way. I don't disagree with you, but I don't think you can just say the only way he can win is if it's a wet track. I mean, if he gets cruising to the lead. Well, maybe he's actually pretty good. I mean, he's got 2 starts, 2 wins. I don't know. I'm not going to let him beat me. I'm not so confident about both the 1 and 2 winning this race. We talked about that with the stake on Friday on the turf, where there was a 2-horse race, and I said the horse in the rail for Rodell car could win.
But don't you think that the course had a lot to do with that?
It had something to do with it, but I also think that horse was... That horse
ran.
And that horse was bet.
That horse ran.
That horse was bet like they knew he was going to run.
That horse ran.
So I don't think it was just that. He obviously did have the right ride and the right trip. I don't disagree.
But that horse ran. You're not wrong.
But you have to be careful.
How about that pick 5 that day, by the way? We didn't talk about that.
Let me ask you a question.
See what that thing paid?
No.
Pick 5 paid 5,600, I think. The pick 4 with the favorite winning the first leg. The pick 5 paid 5,600.
Okay.
The pick 4 paid $449.
Who won the first leg?
Don't remember.
Feels like it was like 3 weeks ago.
Forget it. But the favorite won the first leg of
Got
the pick
hair
5.
when they ran that race.
It paid 5,600.
Really?
Yeah. And the pick 4
Was it a
paid,
weird horse that ended up favorite in the first leg?
I can't remember.
Like a horse that shouldn't have been favored, but was like a weird they
even
knew
if it,
later.
even, I don't know.
Well, you
Even if it is,
have to remember
even
who's
if it
playing
is.
in the not playing in the pick 5 pool.
Wow.
Is picking time? I mean, we had to have him at least third. You can't.
Let me ask you a question. He's run the mile. He went around the 2 turns.
Did they send you a special
He
gift at
came
Christmas
back
for
and
loving that?
he
those
came
horses?
back to go to 6 and won the smoke lacking. This horse's pedigree leads you to believe he's going to want a little bit more ground than the 6. And I think the 1-turn mile kind of hits him between the eyes. I do think there is a considerable drop off.
I don't think he's good enough.
I think there's a considerable drop off between the 1 and 2 and the 4 and 5. But I
don't know. I think the 5 is much more dangerous than the 4. To be honest, I'm really 1, 2, 5, and then well back to the 4, and then sort of nobody else makes
4
more
versus
sense.
5 for a lunch.
You got my text? I won that bet.
I know.
Yeah,
I responded. Did you get it?
Oh, you did? No.
Yeah, I responded.
You
4
did?
versus 5? Yeah, I did. I saw it. I responded this morning. I was out cold
I
last
bet
night.
you lunch. I didn't get it. So we're at 52. I'll take the 4 over the 5.
Okay. No, you'll take the 5 over the
No,
4.
you know what? I'm not confident that the 5 is going to beat the 4. I'll put it this way: you have to be first or second to win.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? In other
Yeah,
words,
if the 1 and 2 beat
one
him
of
by
these,
10
right,
lengths,
if one of
there's
these
no
two
bet.
horses, one of
That's
these two
fine.
horses hits the exact time
Yep.
work, but I believe it'll be the 5 or the 4. That's
Okay.
more my opinion. I'm not.
Got it. That's the first, I think, if bet.
I went against my. We're really mixing it up here.
That was the first if bet. Well, it is Sunday. It's football Sunday. So, yeah.
Yeah,
if
big
bet.
football Sunday. You
It's
going
an
over
if
to watch the games? You and Phil?
bet. No shot now.
Do you ever watch football?
I used to.
Yeah, I really don't watch much. I went against everything I'm supposed to go against in this last race. But I have to show the entire race, the Promised Road, Violent I Am, and Crisa LaRote, who's kind of interesting here, switching into Dave Donk's barn. Because I want to show that the Promised Road is number 7 in here, breaks slowly and gets completely steadied out of the race, and it's going to have more trouble, even more. Horses back down the inside, as you can see. Now, Violent I Am, I think, is getting a very good trip, settling in behind horses, goes down the inside. Wide outside of her is the LaRote horse, Crisa LaRote, who actually has a big pedigree, the best pedigree anywhere in here, and I think she's dangerous. But even so, you know, the Promised Road has just lost all chance starting. This horse did take some money, and it's the Dangerous Wheeler. Now, this horse has no chance from post 11, so there's no way this horse is going to win. But I had to pick it's going to be a price. I had to leave it up there. Shuffled all the way back to last. And even in here, horse is going to try to make a little bit of a move, I think, and is going to get, you know, right here, wants to make a move, and the 5 backs up in its face. So everything happened wrong. And believe it or not, this horse, I'm not convinced this horse can't run a little bit. Now, I don't know how this horse is going to win from the outside post. What I'm hoping is, well, I'm hoping the horse wins and pays $27. But in general, what I'm hoping is a nightmare wide trip, and then I make a score with this horse in 3 weeks. That's the more likely scenario.
Nightmare wide trip. Yeah, I mean, the blinkers go on.
Coca-Pelli won the first leg, by the way. Who was it? They knew. But
It was
still.
a Clement's first-time starter with Kendrick Carmouche.
But he was a they knew. But you're right.
Right? Even if
You did not respond to me. I'm just telling you, he did not respond.
Then it didn't go through. My phone's been screwy.
Now he's blaming his phone. I mean, take a little responsibility here, will you?
I mean, even if it was the third choice, they paid 12 times more.
Who'd you pick on top?
I went to the Clement first-time starter basically because the horse is drawn inside. I mean, I thought 6 horses could win the race, including the 12. 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. That's who I think could win the race.
We have to show the 3. You should be dancing because it's owned by our friend Adam Madcore, who a sponsor of our Talking Horses show during Saratoga
Thought she was in the barn this day. Thought it was over.
Is she going to be as efficient, though, at 6 furlongs?
Don't know.
And can they tell the rider to never leave the rail?
Right. Yeah.
I won't be shocked if the horse runs.
Me either.
I thought there were better horses in here. I don't know if Crisa LaRote can get the right trip. I'd love to see that horse come sending out of the gate. That horse has a little bit of speed.
Yeah.
And try to clear in here. That would be my best move with him, but I'm certainly rooting for Adam to do well.
4 Stella Mars has a little speed, maybe, too.
Yes. No, Stella Mars, I'm sorry, you're right. Stella Mars is supposed to be the inside speed.
Yeah.
I had her 5th. I should have had her 4th in here. I had to have She Should Be Dancing.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I only use the 6 of them in the.
I'm kind of sick of Violent I Am. I guess he can win, or she can win. You know that Kendrick's going to do every can to try to save ground at some point, and maybe he'll be super aggressive in here. But I'm just a little tired of her. She's had good trips in her races, and it feels like she's not really moving forward, and there are other horses that are more likely to move forward. But once again, the racetrack is likely to dictate this race much more than anything else.
3 seconds with a fast pace, a moderate pace, and a slow pace, right?
Well, I think she ran well 2 back on the dirt.
I know.
I think she ran very well that day. The pace, I don't know if it was that good a race, but she ran very well in the context of that race, you have to admit.
But she was also kind of laid up in the right spot. She just couldn't finish the job.
I got to head upstairs. Think I can meet this apple in the time between now and when I get upstairs?
You and this apple, man. It's
The Honey Crisps, you eat the Honey Crisps?
I don't know different apples, Andy.
The Honey Crisps are the way to go. As everybody watching the show knows, the Honey Crisps are the way to go. A friend of mine turned me on to it recently.
Oh, I saw a recipe where you put you core those out, and you make you put walnuts and cranberries in them, and you bake them out.
You just eat them. Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member.
Then eat it instead of throwing it up. I mean, you should have seen what was going on.
Well, I couldn't eat it on the show, Anthony. I could have. I would have.
I interviewed John Court once on HRN. He was eating a bag of potato chips. And
Everybody gets mad when I eat my breakfast on Steve Big Show.
I'm a fat guy. I know what it sounds like when you're crisping a potato chip. The bag was crinkling, and he was munching away on potato chips. He can deny it all he wants.
Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match them at $200 your initial deposit. Head over to NairaBets.com. Support racing in New York. Play through Naira Bets, the $10 East-West bonus, 25 or more to win last year, 3rd at Del Mar. Do the app, and the app only. Am I keeping you awake, Anthony?
No, you're usually the one yawning.
You're right. You make a great point. Anyhow, we're done. I'm heading upstairs. Maggie and I will be on to start the show.
I'm just going to go say hello to John Prial.
Well, say hi to him for me, too.
I will.
Maybe I'll see him sometime before the meet's up.
You got it.
You set your office up. When are you going to start doing the show from up there?
Thursday.
Excellent. All right. He's the big A, Anthony Stabile. I'm not. Anyhow, everybody, have a great day. America's Day at the Races begins in a few minutes, and it'll be going on until about midnight, I think. Have a great day.